Welcome to The Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler.
All right, it's 11:03. Welcome to The Lock Shop. Hashtag justice for The Lock Shop. Make the shirts. Actually, I was just talking with Erin here, who helps us out with some stuff. She was thinking about putting that in the next line of shirts. Justice for The Lock Shop. Right? That might, I could see us moving a few of those. I could see that working. I'll tell you who wouldn't get one. Matthew Awanek. Right? He's always trying to kill The Lock Shop. Anyway, what's up, everybody? Thank you very much for being here today. We got a weekend to recap for sure. I know everybody is just here for Huss and the Kansas City Chiefs and what has happened to them. It's going to be very interesting to hear. We'll have Huss address the Chiefs coming up in just a few moments. Don't go anywhere. If you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. That would be terrific. You can text us anytime, 780-218-9999. The Lock Shop and all of Edmonton Sports Talk brought to you by the great crew over at Play Alberta. We got a couple of EST specials already up there for you. If you want to get in on that, that's fine. Let's lay those out for you right now. If you haven't used our codes yet for the month, please do. Might as well not waste them. Might as well use them. EST Sports, deposit 50, get 50. If you haven't used YAG 50 yet, use YAG 50. Deposit 50, get 50. And the casino, if you want to just mess around the casino a little bit. I could see myself over the next couple of weeks around the office playing a little bit of roulette on the old wheel. I could see that happening as well. EST Casino, deposit 50 and get a $50 free bet on that one as well. We've got a few plays of the day already up. Early bird bet from the Nielson show this morning. Saquon Barkley doesn't have a touchdown in 4 straight. That's going to change tonight. Saquon, we got it boosted from plus 105 or plus 106 to plus 120. Jay's play of the day, Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown and the Eagles to win. That's a plus 140. He'll dive into his reasoning on that a little bit more on the Reed Wilkins show later on today. The EST Christmas tree has been set up. Looks tremendous. Found a nice spot. Jay and I moved some stuff around in reception. Found a great spot for the tree. Looks good. Shout out to Colin the Amishman for giving us this tree. Gave us some lights. It's looking sharp. We got to put some ornaments on there. We got to hang some tinsel or something. Got to find something to put on the top of the tree, but it is looking pretty good. So an eventful and productive morning here in the EST studios, as we've already got Jay's play of the day up. He came in and was like, I got the tree. We'll set her up. Reed was helping. We got it in a good spot. And things are looking pretty good around the office. That's for sure. But yeah, find those plays over on the EST specials page. At Play Alberta, title sponsor of the Log Shop and everything we do here at EST. Smith TM texts in to 780-218-9999 and says, I am here for the Chiefs' funeral. And a lot of people are here to hear what Huss, we've been calling it, Huss addresses the future and the current times of the Kansas City Chiefs. I can't believe we're here right now, to be honest with you. Let's bring in Huss from Winnipeg Sports Talk. WST starting up here in about 54 minutes over on the Winnipeg Sports Talk channel. Huss, my man, what the hell is going on with your boys? Now, with that being said, we were both on the Texans at plus 3.5 this week. Wasn't a massive stunner, but still.
Are we talking about the Jets or the Chiefs?
Well, we'll get to the Jets and Oilers.
Where do we want to start?
Well, we'll get to the hockey conversation a little bit later on, but people are here for the Chiefs comments, Huss. What, it did just they looked like they were legitimately running out of gas as a dynasty in yesterday's game.
Well, I don't know. I think we're maybe putting a little too much into that. Listen, they were without their top 3 tackles. And by the way, that guy that played on the right side, Poi, undrafted free agent, was on a couple practice rosters, goes in after the Wanya Morris goes out in the first play of the game. You know that he did better against Danielle Hunter than anyone all season had? Pretty crazy story.
Something to build on.
Listen, where do I start? Butker missing the field goal at the end of the first half. You knew that was, and there's been a few. I think he's missed the most in the league this year. For the highest paid kicker, that's not going to cut it. And then you come right out of the gate and it's like, oh, here we go. They're going to actually do it. They come back, they tie the game. The defense completely took over.
That third quarter Chiefs defense, I was like, oh man, this is going to go the other way here.
Listen, I don't want to make too much of it, but to me, that game was lost on one play and one idiotic decision by Andy Reid. And I'm the biggest Andy Reid guy. I mean, he has done the job that he's done in KC has been one of the greats in NFL history. I mean, coming in and building this team into what they are and have been. But going for it on 4th and 1.5 or 2 from your 31 in a game where the Houston offense had done absolutely nothing for the entire second half. Like, I get that if you're down 10 or something. Like, did Andy not realize that they'd scored 10 points and it was a tie game? I could not believe it. And I don't know if you've seen there's a still shot of Mahomes' face.
When they called the play in?
Called the play.
I saw that.
And listen, he's a good soldier. He's not gonna, show up his head coach or whatever. But I think everyone was realizing like that was a WTF moment. And then to me, all I'll think about in the second half is the inability of Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce to hold on to the damn football.
Man, couple
killer
drops.
Like, I don't know how many drops there were total in that game, but I'll tell you what, if a couple of those are picked, it's different. And listen, for all the people, the dummies out there that create this narrative about the Chiefs getting all the calls, once again, I mean, that holding on Nico Collins, which basically led to their first touchdown, was one of the worst calls you'll see all year. And I mean, those holdings on third downs where you just give teams first downs are so impactful. That one was tough to get on. But I mean, big picture for KC, obviously it's not our year. It's a really disappointing season. And when you go back and look at the games that they lost and how they lost them, I mean, each and every game, you could probably look at one or two key plays of a lack of execution on somebody's part that ended up sinking them. But it's been an incredible run. But I will say this, for all the people that are like, oh, dynasty's over, they're done, see you later. Like, check yourself here, folks. This is still Patrick Mahomes, who, I mean, if you go down and look at what he was able to do in that situation, I mean, he played great. I mean, it wasn't like he
had the lowest completion percentage of his entire career.
Yeah, that's because nobody wanted to catch a pass.
I know, but yeah, he didn't have. I mean, there wasn't 19 drops in the game.
Think about that scenario that they were in, going up against the number 1 defense in the league without your offensive line. I mean, just right there. Like, he had to get rid of everything early. Like, there was not a lot of, I mean, like, he didn't have the time to go and create plays and wait for guys to get open. I mean, you really had to make decisions right away. And to be honest, I mean,
he was jumping around pretty good in there. I mean, he was moving around, extending things for sure.
I mean, listen, I can't sit there and look at that game going, oh, geez, they didn't get the quarterback play to win the game. I mean, it was a bunch of other spots that were just, and I mean, listen, I love Kelce. Straight to the Hall of Fame.
Is he done?
It was a I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I thought he might have been done last year. And it's kind of funny because I'm going to be at the Week 18 game. I mean, that game's, I mean, unless some sort of miracle happens.
That could be his last game. You're right. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would assume that it will be. And then, I mean, I'm like, oh, who's next? Well, I mean, Noah Gray started the game off with 2 drops. I mean, like, it was really disappointing. I thought Mahomes got let down by his coach and by a lot of his team. But I will say this, the guys that were playing up front did as well as you could have possibly imagined going up. I mean, losing both of your tackles going into the game and then your next guy going down in the first game against Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter, the best front 4 in the NFL. It was a disastrous situation. So, listen.
So, but how much different do you think the Chiefs are next year, Huss? Right? Like, Mahomes is Mahomes. I'm not going to argue with you on that. But, you know, if Kelsey's gone, you know, they'll be able to find somebody who doesn't want to be Patrick Mahomes' tight end. But Like, is it going to be a different feel? Like, this is the most losses Mahomes ever had in his career. Is this going to be a different feel for the Chiefs next year? Or is it going to be like, oh, Kelsey's gone, but outside of that, everything's the same?
I mean, they might not walk in as the team that everyone just assumes that at the end of the day is going to be there winning. Like, I mean, it maybe has taken some of the aura off of it. But to be serious right now, so they're 6-7. If you took this exact same team and replayed those games, like replayed the season, I have a hard time imagining how they don't have 9 wins. I mean, there's just some crazy stuff that happened this year. And hey, listen, I'm the first one to admit they were 11-0 last year in 1-score games. This year, I think they're
the opposite. Yeah,
7. It's the exact opposite. So, like, maybe a lot of the luck and good fortune and voodoo that they had going on for them over the last seasons and a few seasons kind of caught up on them. But I mean, Mahomes is still amongst the best quarterbacks in the league. You've got a lot of talented players on offense. You've got a defense that, is very, very good as well. Like, will they be the Super Bowl favorite going in next year? Probably not. But I mean, it's pretty wide open. I mean, I still think that if you put the Chiefs on a neutral field against most teams in the National Football League, they've got as good as chance as their opponents to win. So listen, it's tough. I mean, it sucks. And I know there's a lot of people that have been waiting 9 years for this to happen. So you know what? I mean, nothing's forever.
It does sound crazy when you see people have been waiting for 9 years. Like, that 9 years has gone by pretty quick. I didn't even realize it was 9 years. Like, that's
9 straight AFC titles. Dude,
that
Mahomes has never, as a starter, Mahomes has never not been to the AFC Championship game.
Maybe he'll enjoy the time off and come back even more reloaded next year. Eh?
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, listen, don't think that guy isn't. I mean, I don't know what the offseason will be like for Patrick. It puts a lot of pressure on Brett Veach, and certainly Andy Reid. I still like what? Okay, you had no skin in the game. What did you think when they kept the offense out there on their own 31 in a 10-10 game at that point?
Well, I think I saw somebody. I thought it was crazy. I thought, why are you like? Yeah, it kind of seemed like Andy Reid didn't know that it was a tied game. Yeah, like it didn't make a lot of sense to me. Now, I saw somebody over in the chat, Smitty the Welder, says the numbers say it was the right call to go for it. And I mean, you can look at various numbers, and they got numbers for everything in certain situations in this part of the field. But I mean, natural football instinct would be you kick this ball away. It's a tight game. I'm with you on the fact. Like, I'm trying to figure why they did it, because their defense had been playing so well. Houston really couldn't get anything going offensively at all in the second half.
Yards in the third quarter.
So that didn't make a lot of sense to me, man. It didn't.
It was insane.
Yeah.
It was completely insane. Now, if they were down 7 or 10, okay. I mean, you got to be a little aggressive. But I mean, they'd already come back in that game. It was a tied game. Their defense had completely taken over. It was, I thought, the most reckless call I've seen from Andy Reid in his time as a coach of the Chiefs. And listen, you always like your guys to be, aggressive and to go for it. But I mean, you have to have the sense of the moment. And I was too down afterwards. I didn't go back and listen to Reid talk about it after the game. He sort of owned it or whatever. But I mean, the thought process of doing that was, I'd love to hear the real reason, because it certainly wasn't that all of a sudden the Texans, like, this wasn't one of these shootouts against the Bills where, they're going to get the ball.
If they get it at the end, then they're going to win the game type of thing.
No, this is a 10-10
like the Bills game yesterday.
Late in the second half.
Yeah.
So as I say, that was weird. But again, it came down to some execution. And Rashee Rice, listen, is he one of the best receivers in the league? Absolutely. But you need to come up big in the big moments. And that's what the Chiefs have always done in the past. And a lot of guys that you don't expect. I mean, they won Super Bowls with like MVS and Mecole Hardman. I mean, the players, at least the receivers right now, better than those players that they had but just didn't perform in the big one. And at Rip City Step, at least Haas has a huge wedding to follow this offseason.
That's true.
Yeah, well,
what was the date?
Guy,
June 26th. Is that when did they lock in the date? Is it the 26th?
You know, I
thought I saw a Kelsey.
Now I need to get onto the wedding beat because
Huss is gonna be telling us about different cakes that he's tried. June 13th, 2026. The date has been set for the biggest wedding of all time.
Wow. But yeah, I mean, I have a feeling that Travis, does this, enjoys a few months, as a newlywed, and then maybe for next season, either he's in the booth. I mean, he and Jason Kelce doing stuff together could basically call their shots, I think, and do whatever they want. But, after the season that Kelce had last year, I will give him credit for actually having a really, really good season. I mean, we remember some of the down moments, and certainly what happened last night at the end of the game was sort of an emphatic exclamation mark on the end of it. And, not everyone gets to go out with a touchdown dance in the end zone. And that wasn't the case, but he is again, he can still play for sure, but he's not like the game-breaking game changer that he had been before. And wasn't able to make the big plays when they absolutely needed it.
Let's take a look at some other things that happened yesterday around the National Football League. We will dive into the Monday Nighter here as well. Matt Hyman says, what was the date on that again? And will Zach Kolaris be able to make it? It's a Saturday. It's a Saturday in June, so probably not unless Zach has pushed the CFL to give them a Thursday Nighter. Then he could make the wedding. CFL schedule release tomorrow, by the way. So we'll start to break. Yeah, really? Tomorrow's the CFL release date. So looking forward to it.
You know what? They better go and do some tweaking right now. Maybe give us the bye week that week. Is that the first week of the season?
No, that would be second week of the season, I think. Yeah, that would be the second week. Yeah, that would be week 2. That would be week 2. So we'll see how that plays out. Huss, we were both a half a point away from at least getting the push on the Chicago Bears on our picks for the week.
Oh, that's right.
That would have taken us to 4-1.
I bet it at 7.
Did you get it at 7? Okay, yeah, because we had it at 6.5 when we locked it in.
I think when it was, but it wasn't even like really juiced or anything like that. Like when I bet it, I think it was -115 on the.
Oh, that's not too bad then.
On the 7, yeah. So I actually had that one in before. I had Cincy, which was nice. What a crazy game too. And man, I mean, Joe Burrow plays so well. I mean, they're up, they're cruising, and one play turned that entire game around. That pick.
Yeah, I know. They were looking pretty damn good.
I mean, hell of a game. Just for fan perspective.
I think you got muted there all of a sudden somehow. Like a random mute. You just went away. No? Oh, yeah, reconnect then. Yeah, I don't know. That was he'll connect back in. Hopefully he'll be fine. But yeah, there's lots to get to from the National Football League yesterday. I mean, the Bills-Bengals game was something else. We were on the Bengals at +5.5 there. So that worked out well. They ended up covering. There we go. Huss, we got you back now?
Hello.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, he's back. He's good. I was just saying that Bills-Bengals game was, I mean, the Bengals, now with the Steelers, somebody was going to win that Steelers-Ravens game. And Bengals probably would have preferred it to be the Ravens because they get the Ravens again and they could get that win back. But the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen, man, just found a way. Both quarterbacks. Pretty solid yesterday until Joe Burrow throws a couple of interceptions in the second half. That was the difference in the ball game.
Yeah.
But Buffalo had, I mean, James Cook had 2 fumbles too. Like it was, I mean, conditions weren't great. It's a little bit of a sloppy one, but a highly entertaining game though.
Yeah, no, listen, you had a snow game. You had 2 of the best quarterbacks going back and forth, but that was a game. I mean, that was Bengals, like right there. Tons of great stuff offensively. couple mistakes that really hit you, and a defense that wasn't able to shut it down. I mean, Joe Burrow was 25 of 36 for 284 in the snow and 4 TDs and lost. Now, again, the one going back the other way was massive. But Bills needed that one. They're good right now. I think it's Bills at New England next week. Huge game if the Bills want to still have a chance of winning that.
Yes,
division.
the Bills are at New England next week. Patriots right now, 1-point dog at home.
Huge win for the. Let me just before we move on from the Chiefs Texans, because I know everyone wants to dance on the graves of the Chiefs. But what do you think about the Texans?
I think that I can't buy into their offense taking them anywhere in the playoffs. Like their defense could. But can their offense do enough to make a legitimate championship run? I don't think I can buy into that with CJ Stroud.
CJ Stroud made some big time plays last night. Like with some big time plays.
I thought there was a couple of passes I didn't like that he made either though. Like
the one thing was in the third quarter, and I don't know how much they exposed Houston, but the amount of blitz pressure that Spags brought out at the beginning of the third quarter, like he always does that, but that legitimately was the most all-out attack on a QB I've seen from Kansas City at any point during the Spags era. Like before he kind of disguised some things and maybe this guy would be coming, maybe that guy, they were all coming. And he had a real tough time getting the football out right away. And that was why they went 3-and-out. But he's back in. I do not sleep on the Houston Texans. I will say that. I mean, the defense is absolutely elite. I mean, 1-2 in the league in just about every category. And I wouldn't be surprised if we're talking about the Texans at the end. And by the way, while we're talking about that division, RIP to a great run for the Indianapolis Colts. You know, they were the talk of the league for the first 11 weeks of the season. They got it handed to them by the Jags yesterday. Danny Dimes out for the year. So I know that they're 8-5 right now, but we can pretty much cross them off. And that's why, I mean, it just sucks so much of the Chiefs losing last night. If they had found a way to win that game, they'd be at 7-6. The Texans would be at 7-6. The Colts would be in that playoff spot with a 1-game lead on them. And the Chiefs beat them head-to-head, so they would have had the tiebreaker. So they would have had to make up 1 game on the Texans. 1 game on the Colts. But now the AFC, the AFC looks like this. I think they still gave the Chiefs a 19% chance of winning. I feel like it's more like
of getting into the playoffs.
Yeah. That's sort of the way that it feels to me. Because like they're tied with Miami and Baltimore. It's sort of nuts. Here's the thing, and I guess we definitely have to hope for an Eagles win tonight to get the Chargers to 8-4. The Chiefs do have a head-to-head game against the Chargers. Oh, wow. You know, the Chargers' schedule is actually pretty tough. Home to the Eagles, at Arrowhead next week, at the Cowboys, home to the Texans, at the Broncos. Chargers.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that is tough. I think the Texans are making the playoffs.
Well, the Texans' schedule is Cardinals, Raiders, Chargers, Colts. And that's Colts without Daniel Jones, the Raiders and the Cardinals.
So they could beat the Chargers. Maybe
maybe
that is the goal right now. And the Ravens right now at 6-7. What a brutal loss at home for them to the Steelers.
Yeah, that one hurt big time. That one stings.
I mean, Lamar has not been even close to himself since he came back from that injury.
Yeah, he's clearly not right. Like, Let's see here.
You know what I'm interested in? What did that do? Are there any futures up right now? No, they'll be up tomorrow. I'd love to see what the number is tomorrow on to win the AFC North. Because going into this weekend, the Ravens were like minus 205 or something like that. But now Pittsburgh gets the head-to-head win on the road. And you know what the funny thing is, dude? If the Bengals had won that game, they would have been at 5-8. What do they finish up? Do they get Pittsburgh again?
The Ravens get Pittsburgh again, but I think Cincinnati gets. Who do they get?
Dolphins, Cardinals, Browns, and the Ravens.
And the Ravens again, yeah.
If they had won that game, they could have actually ended up winning the division, I think.
I was just looking at the Steelers. If we look in this division, the Steelers, who had lost 3 of 4 before this win against the Ravens, they get the Dolphins. Then they're in Detroit. Then they're in Cleveland. And then they wrap the year versus Baltimore. So that could still end up being a pretty damn big game between the Ravens and the Steelers.
Yeah. It is true. But yeah, as you mentioned, the only way the Chiefs win this is if they run the table and get to 10-7. And it's the try. I am now officially Sirianni. I know I've talked a lot of shit about you for a long time on the show.
You do not say you need Sirianni tonight. Oh, you're sick, Huss.
Oh, I need them tonight. Like I'm just trying to figure out any possible way of winning this out. They would get to, they're 8-4 right now. They could go to 8-5. If the Chiefs beat them next week, the Chiefs would be 7-7. They would be 8-6. And then we basically need them to lose 2 of their final games at Dallas, home to the Texans, at the Broncos. And the thing is, the Broncos, if that is the case, the Broncos would probably have clinched their division already. We'd need New England to stay right there with them. Broncos never played New England, I don't think, this year, did they? There's no head-to-head game between those two?
I'll tell you right now. Hang on.
Because I guess what I'm getting at is if the Broncos do not need to win in Week 18, and it's coming down to if they beat the Chargers and the Chiefs beat the Raiders, that the Chiefs would get in and potentially play the Broncos in the first round, this would be like nobody's playing. Here you go, Harbaugh. A nice warm embrace between Peyton and Harbaugh before the game. Like, it wouldn't do anyone favors. So I am now firmly entrenched with the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Texans, and dare I say the Denver Broncos. That's the only way the Chiefs win. But you know what? I hadn't looked at this. I'm actually kind of encouraged by just how difficult the schedule is for the Chargers the rest of the way. Like, there's not an easy game.
That's probably why they've got the Chiefs at 19% as opposed to the 5% that you were thinking.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So what did you make of the Green Bay Chicago game?
Well, that's like, I got to tell you something. Just because it ties into Joe Burrow. We were talking about him a bit. I don't know if I told you on Friday, I was playing a Wannick in the Spite League playoffs. Remember I told you? And I was projected to win like 130 to like 70. I lost in one of the most heart-wrenching, heartbreaking fantasy losses that I've ever had in my entire life. It got so bad that midway through our matchup around 3:00 yesterday afternoon, I rage deleted the CBS Sports fantasy app. I was just like, I don't even need to see this anymore. I totally deleted the app. A Wannick texts me later in the day. He goes, "Oh man," he goes, "that was a tough one for you." Because I messaged him like early, and I'm always overreacting, especially in that league. I messaged him early. Yeah. I'm like, "You're going to beat me." Like, this
For
is trouble.
first
You're
jinx.
going to beat me. And he goes, no. He goes, you always say this. Second halves are still coming up. Don't worry about it. And then Joe Burrow threw his third touchdown of the day, I think. And I texted him and I said, this is it. I screen capped. He'd just gone up and he just took over like the probability meter. I said, that's it. This is it. And I deleted the app. And I don't care what happens in that league the rest of the year. And I'm not downloading again until August. So I get 32 points from Gibbs. The rest of my lineup, the rest of the weekend got 36 total. Here are guys that I had going. First of all, I had Jaden Daniels. He gets hurt, doesn't do anything, settles for 2 points, leaves the game. I'll get to more on that quarterback situation in a second. Gibbs was awesome. Bijan was very average at best. Emeka Egbuka dropped a touchdown, finished with 2 points. Chris Olave basically did absolutely nothing. Justin Jefferson has to be the biggest fantasy bust of the entire season. Brock Bowers was okay. And then Matty had Joe Burrow go off and got he had the Vikings defense. And he ended up beating me, I think, by 12, he said yesterday when it was all said and done. I don't know. I don't know that. I don't know. I've never had a choke job. Like, my team barely got 50% of what they were projected to get. Even if one of Jefferson, Olave, or Egbuka gets like their projected points, I'm advancing. None of them did everything. And then 2 weeks ago, I started Aaron Rodgers. He had 2 points. This week, Jaden Daniels is coming back. I'm like, screw you, Aaron Rodgers. I sit Aaron Rodgers. He goes off for like 25, 27 points, which would have been enough to have me win. And instead, I'm sitting here watching an injured Jaden Daniels get ran down by the Vikings defense. The very defense I was playing against in fantasy. So it helped. I tell you, if I would have been sitting there refreshing that, I was refreshing the app for an hour and a half, and I swear to God, man, not a single player on my team was getting points. It was pathetic.
I had a couple of tough fantasy outcomes this week.
But you're not in playoffs yet, though, right? This was a playoff matchup. Like, I'm done.
Well, this basically was a playoff game. Like, it was. It was a play-in game. If I won, I was in. If I lost, I was out. And I was looking really good. Most of our players had gone. We got into the late window. I still had Kelsey to go. Well, we all know how that went, but I wasn't really counting much on. I just come off a big run from Tony Pollard to Jackson Smith and Jigba, Jalen Warren. And I'm like, okay, well, I've got 15 points. I'm clear. He had Wilson on Arizona.
Oh, he went off.
Did you see his numbers?
I saw somebody else in one of my other leagues had him. Actually, I went against him in one of my other leagues.
11 catches, 142 yards, 2 touchdowns, 39.2. So that was my one play-in game, which I lost. I am in another play-in game where it was the exact same scenario, basically a bonus playoff game. Win and you're in, lose and you're out. And this is non-PPR. I have an 11.2 point lead, and he's got Dallas Goedert. So essentially, I need Goddard to not get a touchdown tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, if he goes for 115 yards, all the power to him. But no touchdowns, no 2-point converts. And we'll see if I can.
Let me ask you this, because, rewind 3 months, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, I'm all in on Jaden Daniels this year. I've got him in the Juan Rincon League. I've got him in Spite League. Had him in my big boy league. Obviously, it backfired us. I'm curious on what your thoughts are of him moving forward. Like, this year's been a disaster. It's been a write-off. I'm sitting here, and the 2 of the leagues that I have him in, it's a keeper league. The one league don't usually keep a quarterback, but in this Spite League, 16-team league, like, everybody keeps quarterbacks. And I've got a bunch of other great keepers, and I'm like, what do I do? Like, what's Jaden? Like, he was awesome last year. This year, even earlier in the year, he was kind of like, now he dealt with all these injuries. We saw what happened with RG3 there. They kept bringing him back, and he kept getting, like, and should I be legitimately concerned about Daniels in dynasty leagues?
I mean, I still think that he's going to definitely be a startable option for you moving forward as long as he's playing. But let's face it, I was with you. I mean, I had him as a rookie on a couple teams last year and kept him thinking that this is amazing. I've got a top 5, maybe top 3 fantasy quarterback. And listen, their season, like the whole McLaurin holdout and then injury, really, really screwed them up to begin getting it all. And then, of course, he missed all those games. So do I feel as good as I did last year? Not even close. Do I still think that he's a really good NFL viable fantasy quarterback? Yeah. But when you rank them, I mean, put it this way, like it would be a fun exercise at some point. Maybe we'll do this in the off season. Keep or not to keep. And we compare him against some of the other players. Like, would you rather have, I mean, like right now, just off the top of my head, Mahomes, Burrow, Josh Allen, absolutely would be ahead of Jaden Daniels right now. You know, I mean, then you look at guys that we didn't really think much of at the start of the year. Matt Stafford, Sam Darnold. I mean, these guys are throwing for huge numbers each and every day. And shockingly, especially Stafford, pretty durable. So, I mean, like, right. Oh, Dak. How could we forget Dak? I mean, are you probably like, if you had Drake May and Jaden Daniels and you could keep one of them, who are you keeping? Like after this season, probably Drake May.
Yeah, probably. I mean, as you were talking about this, I Googled 2026 too early fantasy rankings just to see if there were any out there.
Yeah.
So Roto Street Journal does have this was written 7 days ago. This is their quarterback ratings for 2026 fantasy. Tier 1, Josh Allen. Tier 2 in order, Lamar Jackson. Still had Jaden Daniels in there. Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Drake May, and Joe Burrow in a tier together, like those 6 guys. I think putting them in a tier together is probably right. I'd have Dak in there. And
I was just about to say, no Dak?
Dak's at number 8. He's at the top of their tier 3. I think you have those guys in there together, but you can definitely shuffle the order, I think. So I would have Dak in that tier. And then after that, it goes Herbert at 9, Jackson Dart at 10, Baker, Caleb, Brock Purdy, Stafford, and down the list from there. So, I mean, I don't think I'd have Jaden. I mean, I'm pretty down on Jaden Daniels right now, but I don't think I'd have him at number 3 going into fantasy drafts next year. But
no, to me, he's sort of like towards the bottom of the top 10. Speaking of QBs, I'm just pulling up the passing stats right now.
Yeah.
And if any of you lock shoppers rode with me on the Dak prop to lead the league in passing, we finally have all the quarterbacks having played even games now. They've all played 13 games. They've all got 4 games left. And Dak now has a 225-yard lead over May and 239 on Mahomes. And the funny thing about May, not that a lot of people I think had May props. I mean, I don't know what number that would have been. That would have been 50.
That would have been insane. Like
but again, depending on what happens, he may not have to play in like that final game of the season. But both Dak and Mahomes presumably are going to need to be slinging it the rest of the way. Matt Stafford looked pretty damn good against the Cardinals. Sammy Dart's got going again against the Falcons. Again, we don't have the Niners this week. And their quarterback situation while we're talking about it is always interesting. I mean, Mac Jones has proven to be a pretty serviceable back.
He's done just fine, yep.
Well, he's been better than Purdy, I think, to be honest.
Jones was fine and serviceable last year, too, when he had to play going in where was he? Jacksonville last year, right? He kind of unleashed Brian Thomas Jr. last year.
Yes, exactly. And then Brian Thomas Jr. he had an amazing catch yesterday.
Yeah, I think he finished with like 80-some yards. Huss, let's dive into this Monday Nighter. Then we'll quickly talk some hockey before we have to let you go.
Just Packers Bears?
Oh, I didn't catch much of the Packers Bears yesterday.
I gotta say, I mean, it looked like the Pack were going to run away with that game.
Yeah.
And then Ben Johnson is a freaking genius. Like they all of a sudden they were able to run the football already. I mean, like Caleb Williams is a very imperfect quarterback. Like, he made a couple of just insane throws, decisions.
Yeah, he's a freak. He's a freak for sure.
He is. But, man, they were right there in that game. And even, after they tied it up at 21, Packers go down and get their touchdown. And Packers are very, very good. I don't want to come off this. I mean, they're a contender, especially if they're playing at Lambeau. But, man, they got it all the way down. And then with 22 seconds left, he threw that pick, and that was that. But I'm really intrigued about this Bears team, and I think that they're probably a year or two away from being where Ben Johnson really wants to get them. They'll change that roster a little bit, but they've shown that they can play with a lot of really, really good teams. And when you think about that win they had in Philly last week, and then going to Green Bay and getting a push. I mean, if you had it at 7, but being right there, maybe deserved a better fate, at least against the spread. But that was a really fun game yesterday to watch. And it had a little bit of it all. And geez, are we not going to do a full 15-minute breakdown of Titans Browns?
Well, Shadur Sanders actually, it's the Titans.
Did you see the last play? So they score a touchdown on the last play. They were down 8. And then they went for the 2-point convert, took them off the field. Direct snap, Quinshon Junkins. It was supposed to look like a thing. It was just a complete.
I'm sure that went over really well in Cleveland today.
Oh, and with the Shadur people. I mean, that's
they're already a very animated group. That's
worst
not good.
Loss of the week has to be Tampa, losing at home to the Saints, and the big winners of this entire week. Shout out to my guy Carolina Mike. The Panthers keep pounding. They get the win without even playing. And right now, as we look at the standings, they are 7-6, tied with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Panthers could go to the playoffs.
Do they play? They played twice. Oh, those are two huge games, man.
At the Saints, home and home against the Buccaneers, and home to the Seahawks. And Tampa has those 2 games against Carolina, and they are at Miami and home to Atlanta. I think that's the Thursday night game. So anyways, we're back in. But listen, I early on in the week, I'm looking at this thing. By the way, is it 2.5 or 3?
It's 2.5. I'm seeing 2.5. Been 2.5 all morning.
I'm thinking, they're just begging us to take Philly. I'm taking the Chargers. I need Philly. I am an Eagles guy now. Based on what this has happened. If you go to 3, plus 115 on Philly at -3, minus 135 on the Chargers. Justin Herbert's apparently going to have a cast on his hand.
Yeah, on his non-throwing hand, right?
We're not getting O'Marion Hampton back, I don't believe, are we?
I thought we were.
Let's see. Is he listed?
I'm pretty sure he's listed. Yeah.
Okay, so that'll be a nice boost for them. I mean, Philly has to be a hell of a lot better after getting embarrassed at home against the Bears, no?
I would hope.
They'll probably have home field advantage. I mean, it's a Charger game against a team with a big fan base. That pretty much means that, there's going to be no home field advantage for the Chargers.
They've lost 2 in a row, right?
Yeah, and they've looked terrible doing it. I mean, think of their last 2 games, like the Bears game, which was just dreadful, and the game before that was blowing the 21-0 lead against the Cowboys.
Oh, that's right.
So, I mean, they've had plenty of time to think about this. They have, it's a late game, so they basically had the mini bye before this game. I don't know whether this is me manifesting it, but if it's less than 3, I'm taking Philly in this game. In that I do believe, and I mean, again, maybe this is just a money line play. What do you have the money line for the?
I got minus 141 on the money line.
And what's the Chargers?
Plus 120.
Well, who's going to get some? What about some props?
Yeah, that's what I was looking at here. The rushing yards are like they've got Marion Hampton at 44.5, Vidal at 35.5. Do you just stay away from all those numbers, Huss, or what do you do? Because Vidal's had some pretty good games when Hampton hasn't been there. Hampton's just coming back from injury. I don't think you're going to completely phase Kamani Vidal out of this offense. So that's a tough one. I don't know.
It makes it really hard to.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley. It's wild to see how his numbers have just evaporated this year after the season that he had last season. But it's like around 70.5 for his rushing total, rushing and receiving 91.5. I'm going to look at, let's see some receiving yards here. The guy that I don't want to do anything, Dallas Goedert. Okay. Devonta Smith, 56.5. He's been pretty good lately. AJ Brown is just sort of hot and cold. And then Ladd McConkey on the other side of things. 52.5 for Ladd. Keenan Allen's been pretty consistent. He just hasn't had a lot of big plays and a lot of TDs lately. I'm seeing him at around 38.5. I guess I could probably get behind Keenan Allen.
Let's see. McConkey. What'd you say the McConkey number was? What do I got it at here?
I'm seeing 52.5 to the over at minus 116.
Yeah, and I'm looking at McConkey at 50.5. And the over is minus 115.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, he has last 5 games, 39 yards, 13 yards, 107, 56, 88. He had a stretch there where he went 167, 88, 56, and 107.
Are those his last 3 games?
His last 3 games are 39, 13, and 107.
Yeah. And who are the last 2 games against?
Raiders and Jags.
Raiders and Jags with those low numbers. Jeez.
Yeah. Concerns me a little bit.
I think I'm in on McConkey on the over, especially at 50.5.
At 50.5, that's probably one of the better numbers you're going to see out there, I think.
And what's the Devonta Smith number you're looking at?
56.5.
Okay.
Looking at some receptions here. Like, what's the McConkey reception line? 4.5 and minus 103. Keenan Allen's 3.5. Keenan Allen game log. Let's see here.
Keenan Allen's been pretty consistent around like 4 or 5.
Yeah, he's looking basically 3 of his last 4 games. He's gone for over 30 or more. What did you say his number was? 38.5? I don't know. I mean, I don't hate the idea of just McConkey and Devontae Smith on the over for the yards.
Yeah, let me look at one other interesting number. What is the catch number for Hampton?
1.5, but it's minus 179.
And what's the 2.5?
Can't see that right now.
Because in the last 3 games that he played, he had 6 catches, 5 catches, 6 catches. I was just looking over 2.5 catches, where I'm looking at is plus 158.
You get it over the 2.5.
That might be something just to do on your own. Probably be tough to
You
put.
play that on its own, though. Yeah, no, that's not a bad idea. All right, well, I'll get some of this stuff and I'll send it over, and we'll get that up. That'll be on our EST specials page
do you like
here.
Philly, or do you like the Chargers?
Well, I think I probably like Philly on the money line. If we're throwing it into a parlay,
Yeah.
probably go that way. And then, yeah, we got some McConkey stuff. We got some Devontae Smith stuff. We could throw in the Marion Hampton over 1.5 catches as well. Huss, quickly, We can get into the Jets, I guess, tomorrow. But what's coming up on WST?
Yeah, thank you.
You don't need the Jets today, too, buddy.
It was enough to do this Chiefs conversation for this hour, and now I'm going to have to dive into the current play of the Jets. We're going to be all over that. I mean, practice this morning, had a day off yesterday, finally, after that 7-11. By the way, I don't know how many people jumped on it with me, but I did say that I was going to unload the entire account on the over on Saturday night. It wasn't quite that, but let's just say it was a much larger bet than I normally make, and that did come through. So that was at least one good thing that came out of that massacre on Saturday night. So we're going to do all that, lots of Jet stuff. I'll do some sort of it. Well, I had a eulogy plan, but then in the lock shop, I saw the Chargers schedule. Not willing to say it's over yet.
Oh, plot twist.
So maybe, yeah, plot twist, exactly. But I did catch up. For those of you that are footy fans and are fired up for the World Cup, I spent about 25 minutes talking to Matt Chinetti today.
Yes.
And breaking down the World Cup groups, the scenario in Toronto on a potential Canada-Italy opener for the World Cup. So a lot of great stuff for those of you that want to familiarize yourself more with the World Cup, with Canada's situation, with what's up with our national team over the next number of months. That is coming up too, and it was really good. I'm looking forward to people seeing it.
Excellent. Good stuff, buddy. We'll let you slide out, and we will chat with you tomorrow. Look ahead towards Week 15 in the National Football League.
Fly, Eagles, fly. Fly, Eagles, fly. Things you never thought you'd hear.
You are sick. You are sick. Get rid of this guy here, Ned. Unbelievable. Huss is cheering for the Eagles now? This is a guy who had Sirianni's head on a platter when they were winning a Super Bowl, for goodness sakes. Oh, my goodness. God. If I could go back in time to go to Huss at last year's Super Bowl, be like, Huss, in just a matter of 9 months, you'll be cheering for the Eagles. He would have said I was nuts. All right. What did I throw over to the boys? Eagles money line, McConkey over 50.5 receptions, Hampton over 50.5 receiving yards, which is a pretty good number compared to some other spots, and then Hampton over 1.5 receptions. So Eagles money line, McConkey over on the yards, Hampton over on the catches. That'll be popping up on the EST specials page over at playalberta.ca. And use the code EST Sports. Deposit $50, get a $50 free bet. Just go to playalberta.ca or download the Play Alberta app. You'll see EST Specials. You click that. Around this time of day, it's usually populated with 3 or 4 plays already, and more to come as we work our way through the day. We've got the oil stream coming up next with myself and Tom Gazzola. And you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to bring up the conversation. Should Boosh be on Team Canada? Hernan's like, oh no. But we're going to have a chat. We're going to have no, not Skinner. Let's not get carried away here. Anyway, we're going to get into that coming up. It is the oil stream. The Edmonton Oilers continue to turn it around. We'll get into that on the oil stream coming up for Boston Pizza. But that's going to do it for the Lock Shop today. Thank you very much for joining us. Best of luck if you're going to be riding with us tonight. Enjoy Monday Night Football. We'll be back to break it down tomorrow morning. Take it easy.